Hello and welcome to what is hopefully going to be a good explanation video of what the heck is going on in this Portal speedrun in 6 minutes and 58 seconds. If you're watching this video, you probably already watched the speedrun and are also probably a bit confused, understandably, because what this run is about 11 years of dedication and just research and study R&D into the game, boiled down into under 7 minutes. So for this explanation video, I wrote up a document. It's about 6 pages that is just going to go over what I'm going to go over in this video. And so it should be fairly structured. Anyway, so before I actually unpause the video and look into the first thing in the run, I'm going to explain a few things that will be very important about the run. And for that, I'm going to go into the game, actually. It's a black screen right now, but I'm loading up the game. And I'm going to explain not the most important thing, but how you move in the game. So most people, when they play a game, they move by holding W, which makes sense. That's the forward key. In a lot of Source games, what you do is called bunny hopping, and that looks a lot like this. But the thing is, in Portal and Half-Life and all the Half-Life episodes, bunny hopping doesn't work. I'm not actually going really much faster than just holding W and jumping. So what we can do in Portal, though, is called accelerated back hopping. And this is different from backwards bunny hopping. Backwards bunny hopping, normally, it would be the same as forwards bunny hopping, which also doesn't work. But by doing ABHing, you can get to, quite frankly, absurd speeds. And you can also do it forward if you do it right. There's a lot of different variations. You can do it forward. You can do it sideways, kinda. It's a lot. Actually, this is just forward. You can. It's weird, but basically you can do it forward and backwards. Most of the time we're doing it backwards because it's easier. And I've played the game so long that I mostly memorized the chambers. I don't need to see them. Same for every other speedrunner. So I'm just gonna run a quick explanation of how that works. When you land in the game, what it does is it takes the speed cap, which is 150. If you look in the top right hand corner, you probably can't see, but my velocity is 150. It takes whatever your horizontal velocity is, takes the difference between that and 150, and then adds it to the velocity vector that's going in the other direction of you. So let me get up a lot of speed. So I'm going at absurd speeds. Let me do that better. So if I'm going at absurd speeds and then I do an ABH wrong, it'll stop me dead in my tracks, and I'll be going 150 again. So that's pretty simple, but it's also very easily abusable. And you abuse it by tricking the game into what direction you're going. If you jump backwards and don't hold S, the game thinks you're going forwards. So it adds to your negative speed, but your negative speed is actually the direction you're going. So you can actually gain speed exponentially fast using this method. In, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was the maximum speed of the game. The game will not let any object go faster than that. In only 7 jumps, I got that fast. It's absurd. And it's a lot more useful in Half-Life 2, but it's absurd. Alright, that is just how you move in the game. Now I'm going to go over the probably most important glitch in the game, which is save glitch. This is pretty much how I just walk out of bounds. You'll see, normally this wall is very solid and you can't walk through it. But if you beat the game, if you mess with the game just right, I can shoot here. That portal did not go where I shot. It actually got there. And now I can walk through this wall. You probably want to know why. So, there's a few commands that will help. There's a few commands that will help me showcase what is going on. These are cheat commands, by the way. They're not allowed in runs. So, actually, I have a great idea. I'll just load up the developer commentary, because this explains actually a very important thing perfectly. So I'll play this developer commentary.
Integrating portals with Source Engine's physics system was a complex process that required several iterations to achieve the right balance of performance and correctness. Because portals can be placed virtually anywhere in the game's environment, the physics system had to be modified to allow dynamic changes to its representation of colliding geometry, such as the walls and floor around this box, and any objects which may lie on the opposite side of the portal. Initial implementations of this dynamic collision generation system could take up to 1/2 of 1 second, or 500 milliseconds, to compute the correct collision. This may not sound like a long time in everyday life, but this pause during the portal creation was quite noticeable in the context of a game. Ultimately, we designed a system that creates temporary hybrid physics environments in bubbles around the portals, using less accurate collision than that produced by Source's standard collision generation, but was accurate enough in practice and reduced the time to create dynamic collision representation from 500 milliseconds to just 10 milliseconds, which is an imperceptible pause during portal creation.
Alright, so as you just heard, that portal developer explained that when you go through a portal, the game does not actually 100% accurately simulate the physics on the other side of that portal. What the game does is it makes sort of a temporary physics solution, which is less accurate, although because Portal is mostly just square test chambers, it's not a huge deal. One of the side effects of that, though, is that collision with objects can be a bit weird near portals. Not there, but I probably can't get it now, but there's a lot of instances where you're near a portal and collision with objects just doesn't work as intended. You can actually abuse that. If you do it just right, you can get a lot of ABHs off of an object really quick. It's like very segmented, kind of like task only strat, really, but basically, let me get these. Hang on. Where was it? Portal Simulator Collision Entity. I think that's it. No, that's not it. Where is it? Whatever. It just doesn't really matter. Oh, it is physical cloning. Thank you. Somebody in the chat told me. Thank you. So, you'll see whenever I place a portal, there's a large rectangular box that shows up around the portal. And there's also a smaller rectangular box that is right inside the portal. So what these two boxes are, if this box that is surrounding me touches the box that is in this portal, so basically it just means if you're close to a portal, the game is now running the much faster simulated physics engine around me. And what that simulated physics engine is doing is it's taking all the blocks and basically all the walls and stuff that is in this larger box, and it's ignoring everything that is not inside that larger box. If you could somehow be inside this box and outside the larger box at the same time, you'd be able to fall through walls. But because the inside box is smaller than the larger box, that is impossible. So it's fine. Or rather, that would be impossible if you couldn't save glitch. So what save glitch does is it tricks the game into thinking you're inside the box when you're not inside the box. If you move outside the box in the same time, like on the same tick, same frame about, that you leave the box and you save load, if you save load and leave the box at the exact same time, then the game does not realize that you left the box, and you can walk through walls and fall through floors and everything. So that is the most interesting part. That's like 1/2 of the part about save glitch. You'll see where is it? Yeah, like this box around the portal. Any wall or floor that touches this box, you can collide with. And even though I'm not inside the box, I can still collide with the floor because the floor is in the box. However, the walls for some reason are not in the box. At least this part of the wall isn't in the box. But this wall is in the box, so I can collide with it. But this one I can't. And this part of the floor is not the same part of the floor as this part of the floor. So you'll notice I can fall right through it. Easy. And a side note, normally you cannot move in out of bounds, but because the game is running the fake physics, you can. Like, if I just load a normal 04, I don't have save glitch at all, and I try to move out of bounds, I'm stuck. I can't move at all. The only exception is if you're near a portal, you can move, because then the game is also running the fake physics engine. Like, if I'm near a portal, I can move, jump all I want. And also, if you're not near a portal, but you're on a ceiling, you can move for some reason. But if you jump, you'll get stuck for a little bit. I don't know why. The game's weird. It's a very buggy game. Okay, so that's the basics of save glitch. That's one half of the basics. The other half is that when you have save glitch and you're in front of the portal, you'll see my portals are going exactly where I shoot them. But if I'm behind the portals are not going where I shoot them. They're going there for some reason. And now I don't really know why this happens at all. But whoops. Oh. That's annoying. So basically, if you're behind a portal, you shoot portals as if you were on the other side of the portal. Like if you went through the portal and were to shoot a portal, basically. And there's a command in a plugin, YSBT. What's the command? Oh, it's an underscore. YSBT. Say no. Overlay. Right. So overlay portal blue. It doesn't fix it, okay. Anyway, yeah, you'll see normally in the top left corner of the screen you'll see what it's like when I'm save glitched, pretty much. So normally when you're shooting a portal, the portals go where you shoot. But if you get save glitched, this is breaking. I think if I go through a portal, it fixes it. No. This is so annoying. Plug in reload? No. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Basically, the portal will shoot not where it's supposed to. And in inbounds, this is abused very heavily to shoot portals just straight through the maps. But you can easily see. I'm shooting a portal there. That's not where I shot the portal, right? This is, well, that's the core of the glitch. And in the out of bounds route, at least what you used to do was shoot down there, and because of the weird save glitchiness, it shoots the portal there. And because that portal is far enough away, I can walk through this wall and shoot a portal here. Whoops. And then shoot a portal here. And something interesting, if you enter the box, the little box around the portal that I talked about, it cancels save glitch. Because then when you walk out of the box, it correctly realizes that you're out, and then you're all done. And this used to be the old route. You just do that. That's another glitch, also really annoying. But anyway, there's a few different ways to get save glitch. I'll mention it all over the run, but there's about 4 ways to actually achieve the save glitch effect. And they're all different, unique in their own ways. But they're 4 different glitches, but they all achieve the exact same effect. Now that those 2 incredibly complicated subjects are out of the way, let's go to actual speedrun and try to explain what's going on. It's probably going to be a bit rough. I'm going to run in half speed. So the first thing... Whoa, that's too far. Okay, the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to grab the radio and then crouch exactly in that position. And if I were to go in-game, what that position would see is the box that's around my player and the box that's around the portal that you have to be in to achieve the weird physics are just barely intersecting. But the portal's not actually open right now. because you're still waiting at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is the moment that the portal opens is I hold forward and then save load, which just means making a save and then instantly loading it, about like 12 to 16 times. And what that does, for some reason, is it moves you outside of the portal box, but it doesn't let the game know that you moved outside of the portal box, and then that gives you save glitch. So right here, because of the way... One moment. Because of the way the game works for some reason, especially during loading screens, I mentioned your box and the portal box are no longer touching, but the game doesn't realize you left it, so that gives you save glitch. And because of the way I rendered the run, it actually looks very weird. It looks like almost instant. It just looks like a black screen. But if I go in-game... if I go in-game and do the exact same thing, this actually takes a while because the game is loading all that. But when you're timing the run, the loading screens are all cut out because loading times are different between PCs, and it would give people with better PCs an advantage, even more so than they already do. So that's unfair. So we cut the loading screens out. That's been done for ages. Done on all PC games. So that's why it looks a bit weird in the video. Alright. There's that. And then so... now I am here. I have saved glitch. And what I'm going to do next is push the radio through the portal. This happens a lot more in Portal 2, honestly. But if an object is close enough to the portal, its collision also gets kind of like less expensive, as developers would call it, but it gets weirder, and then you can push it through the glass. Because objects are supposed to go through portals, but if they're close enough to portals, they can go through thin walls near portals. For reasons. So you push the radio through. It is actually harder than it looks to push the radio through, but you just push it through. And because you save glitched on the orange portal, the wall right next to it, for some reason, isn't solid. I guess it's not close enough, even though it looks really close. So you can also walk right through that wall, which is very important, because if you walk through the wall normally, through the portal, you would lose save glitch, and you wouldn't be able to do this part. So right here, what I'm going to do is jump into the radio, and then because the physics is still kind of messed up and weird, the radio is going to give me a lot of speed upward and left. And then I'm going to turn left about 90 degrees so I can remove the leftward speed, and I can just be going up. So that looks like this at half speed. So then I'm just going up. And then I strafe over to the elevator. This is the ending elevator of O1. I just skipped 2 chambers doing that. And then for some reason, if you're at this position, it's not too precise, but if you're at this position and then you save load, you just enter the elevator for some reason. The game's really weird. I honestly don't know how some of the glitches work. They're insane. But we can go to very high speed. We can just skip this part because this is just a big cutscene. Alright, this is pretty much where the next gameplay is. Something to note there is this jump right here. There's actually like a 1 in 10,000 chance that I can get like 5 jumps off the door and then land in this windowsill up here. And then if I land there, I can jump off that and then into the portal gun. And that saves... Oh, it's not capturing mouse movement. You didn't see that. One moment. Okay, so... it's still not there. Oh, it is. So if I jump off the door just right, it's like 1 in several thousand. It's like 1 in 1,000. Not 1 in 10,000. But you can land on that windowsill and then jump from here to there to the portal gun. That saves 3 seconds. I go for it every run, but I've only gotten it once. It's incredibly rare. But that would be a way to save time off this run. Oh, also something else to note. Portal speedruns are all done on a version of the game called Source Unpack, which is just the version right before Valve updated their file system type to Steam Pipe. And the reason is, in the Steam Pipe version, in the Steam new version, it's harder to do save glitch. It's still possible, but it's harder. So the runs in the game are entirely done on this version. But there's actually an even older version that has some different glitches. For example, you can move out of bounds, but you can't quantum crouch. And in that version, it's actually possible to skip that entire cutscene where you're looking at the portal going through the glass. And that could save like 20-30 seconds, but I'm not going to do that because there's other reasons why it's undesirable. But right here, the portal's going to shoot, and as soon as I do that, I go through the portal, pick up the portal gun. This is where things get more visually exciting, but it doesn't actually get too much more complicated. So I shoot a portal there. That serves two purposes. I'm going to save glitch off that and then go through it, obviously, to get up here. And then what that was the save glitch. You saw the portal gun kind of move. That's an indication that I saved and loaded. It just doesn't show up in this video because of the way I rendered the speedrun. So I get a save glitch off of that portal, which means, let me slow this down a little bit. A save glitch off of that portal, which means when I shoot that shot, it does not shoot where I want, but actually on like the other corner of this platform, the opposite corner of this platform that I'm standing on. And that means I can walk straight through this wall because the portal I save glitched on, the blue portal, is far enough away that it doesn't calculate collision with the wall. And I can shoot this portal directly under the elevator. And so, something to note here, if you, the portal under the elevator means that when I go through it, a bit of my body will actually be inside the elevator, or like inside the elevator room, because your physical body cannot actually be in two locations at once. Even if you're directly in the middle of the portal, your body can only be on one side of the portal at a time. So as soon as I go through the portal, my entire body is on the other side of the portal. And that means a little bit of it is above the ceiling portal I shot and actually inside the chamber. And if the portal I'm in is removed while any part of my body is in bounds, the game will push you in bounds because the game doesn't want you to be out of bounds. Makes sense. And you can abuse that by getting in bounds almost everywhere. Anywhere in the game, you can just get back in bounds from out of bounds. It's great. So that's what I do right there. Now I'm inside in bounds. I'm actually under the elevator for the for chamber 3. And you have to jump to trigger the elevator to go up. And what that did is I had actually started a timer because the elevator takes like 13-14 seconds to go up. And once it starts going up, there's nothing you can do to speed it up or slow it down. The game will load the next level in due time. So it does not actually matter how fast I go here. Quick note, shooting that camera is pure fun, doesn't do anything. So I get another save glitch off of that portal, shoot there, and what that does is shoot a portal again on the opposing side. You'll see right there, you can see the door to the left of me. It shoots the portal on the other side, just like ago. And then so you can walk through this wall, shoot a portal there, and then go back in that portal so you don't have broken collision anymore. And then these are just Pika portals. You may have even done them if you've played the game, but they're, because portals have travel time, you can shoot a blue portal while you're in a blue portal, go back, and it's a really quick way to get around while you only have one portal. Extremely useful. And then do a Pika portal so you can land on the room at the top of the ending elevator shaft. And this is another fairly important glitch. It's called vertical wall warp. Because the tricky out of bounds collision of this game and the portal collision of this game, if you're crouched, touching the edge of a portal, and moving up, and you save load, you'll be warped to the top of whatever surface you're standing on. And in this case, that happens to just be right there. And then if you save load again, you'll get save glitch. Because that's how you get save glitch. So right now I have save glitch. And I'm about to shoot a portal on the bottom of there, and what that's going to do is kill my collision with basically everything except the elevator. Because collision with objects works differently than collision with walls, and you basically always have collision with objects when you're save glitched. Unless it's behind the portal, but that's off topic. So I shot that portal and it killed my collision with the wall. And now I can just collide with the elevator. And I shoot that portal down there. It'll be useful for later. What shooting the portal down there does is when the game... what am I trying to say? When the game goes from one level to the next, when this game goes from level 3 to 4, it's changing maps. And the way map transitions work is it takes all objects in a certain area around the elevator into the map with it. Normally, that's not applicable at all, because there's not supposed to be any objects in the map, in the boundary. But if you take like a turret in there, you can take a cube in there, you can take pieces of the cup at the beginning of the game in there, and they will all transfer. And most importantly, you can bring portals through. And that portal is the portal I save glitched on. And so when I go to the next map, that's all this is. This isn't like a splice in the video. That's just what going through a level transition looks like when you're outside of the elevator. The portal at the bottom of the shaft is actually still there. And I still have save glitch. But because the orange portal isn't open, save glitch is dormant. It's not active. And also this entire map, if you go fast enough, is basically on a timer. It doesn't matter how fast I go, as long as I make the cycles. So as soon as the orange portal opens, I'll be able to walk through the wall. Shoot a portal there. Shoot a portal there. And then if I go through and back, like once or twice, it'll trigger the ending dialogue. This is one of the 2 chambers in the game where the elevator at the end will not go up until the dialogue at the end is finished. So once I go through that portal to trigger the dialogue, that's it. I cannot speed up the map any longer. So I trigger the dialogue. Everything I do here is on a timer as long as I get the end in time. So just doing more Pika portals, and then activating the trigger for the elevator so the doors close, which is important. This is a complicated glitch. I also don't know how it works. But if you hit the triggers for the elevator in the wrong order, you can get the elevator doors to disappear. So then what I do is shoot a portal there, get save glitch again like I showed at the beginning of the video, shoot there, and I get into this room. This is the room you're supposed to be at the end of the game, or at the end of the level. Get save glitch again, get here, and then ABH to the end. It's actually very important that I ABH here, because the floor that I'm standing above right now is not solid. If I just tried to walk to the end or jump, I'd fall through the floor and soft lock. So not good. And if you hit the fizzlers, that fizzles a portal, which puts save glitch in a dormant state again. And you'll see I actually got stopped by something. That's the invisible doors blocking me. If I shoot a portal there, because save glitch messes with where your portals come from, that puts a portal on the side of the tube you go through, which just happens to make the elevator solid, but the door's not. Really lucky, honestly, that was possible. So now I'm inside the elevator, and I'm hitting the trigger, so the elevator will go up as soon as she's done talking. And what I'm doing here, actually what I do for the next pretty much 10 seconds here, is I hit a bind to lower my sensitivity to some ridiculously low amount, and I am pixel perfectly lining up a shot for the next chamber. You can't see it here, but if I go in-game, you'll see there's a bunch of numbers up at the top right corner of my screen. There's a ton of numbers. But the most important for this glitch is angle. So if I hit my sensitivity bind and then move my mouse enough so that those numbers are exactly negative 66.80 and 168.77, if I don't move my mouse and I go into this chamber, I can shoot straight through this crack in the wall. And then what that does is it'll put a portal straight under the elevator. So that's just what I'm doing here. I'm lining up a shot for the next map. And because the walls aren't solid, because save glitch, I can go through them. So just 2 ABHs here to here, and then I shoot the shot. That lands under the elevator. I wait for the orb a bit so it doesn't kill me. And then I do another trick where your body's technically in bounds, so you can go in bounds. That's called a PQR, by the way. Stands for Portal Quick Reentry. That's how you get back in bounds in every case in Portal. So I land under the elevator, trigger it to go up. The map is on a timer again. That's a pretty common theme, actually. So it doesn't matter how fast I go as long as I get to the end. And then this is this is the only place, I believe. No, this is one of two places where I just do a normal quantum crouch. And you do that by crouching, uncrouching, and then crouching before you fully stand up. And what that does is it puts your camera above your body collision. Your body collision is still crouched, but your camera's above it. So when you fall through the portal like this, and are going up like this, your camera can actually go out of bounds before your body hits the ceiling. And because your camera's where your portal comes from, you can shoot portals out of bounds. And I shoot a portal on that wall, on the box, outside of the room for some reason. And then I do another Pika portal, kind of just normal portal movement there. So shoot on the back of the elevator. And then this is another instance of the vertical wall warp glitch that I showed you at the end of Chamber 2, some minutes ago. If I'm touching the edge of a... I don't actually know if you have to touch the edge of a portal, but if you're really close, you also do have to be close to the portal physically. Like almost going through it. So if you're almost going through the portal, crouching, moving up, and then you save load, the game will just move you up to the top of the wall that you're on. But in this specific case, the top of the wall you're on is actually in bounds, so the game will zip you in bounds. Bam, I'm in bounds. And you'll see there, right there, that's the elevator going up. You're standing on top of it. I am. And then you jump forward, and I wait here for the elevator to reach the top so I can go to the next level. This map is really simple. It's just ABHing to the end. It's hard, but it's really simple to understand. I'll play it in full speed so you can appreciate how fast it is.
Please note that we have added a consequence for failure.
There's absolutely nothing special, really, about that level.
Good luck.
Okay. This starts Chamber 9, which is also relatively simple. It's weird. Okay, so I'm just ABHing out of the elevator in Chamber 9, ready to get into the level. So right here, you stand on the button, shoot a portal under the door, and then you can go through one side of the portal, and then back through the other side to get to the other side of the door. That's a really simple glitch. It's done in all categories except glitchless, because it's just the fastest way to get through the chamber, even with out of bounds. So I go through, and then now the elevator's coming down, so that's sort of a timer. And what I do here is get save glitch, and then ABH into the elevator. So now the map is actually on a timer. Because I'm behind the portal, the portals I'm shooting don't go where they should. So that portal goes somewhere. I have no clue, honestly. But I don't have collision with the elevator anymore, so I can jump out the doors. I hit the fizzler, so that cancels save glitch, so I can stand on the ground. And then that shot shoots a portal in a fairly specific place, so that I have collision with the elevator, but not the walls and floors around me. That's really useful. And when the elevator starts going up, I can actually shoot a portal right there. And what that does is if I shoot a portal right there, the portal will transition to the next level with me and I'll have save glitch. If I shot the portal much lower, it wouldn't transition because it would be outside of the room where it transitions. So now I'm just riding up with the elevator, waiting to go to the next level. And when I go to the next level, I will have save glitch. At least I will when the orange portal opens. So you notice when the orange portal opens, I'll be able to just walk straight through the wall. And then do more Pika portals, all while crouched, because it's the fastest way to get around when you only have one portal. This right here is another vertical wall warp save glitch combo, where you jump while touching the edge of a portal, maybe. Crouch, save load twice, and then you'll be warped up, and you'll have save glitch. Shooting that portal there just makes it so that I can collide with most of this ground up here. So because I'm out of bounds and I have save glitch, I can move freely, and I do 4 ABHs, and the last one I have to shoot a portal to make sure I keep collision with the ground. But I do 4 ABHs here, and then there's actually a trigger in the back of this. I'll just let it explain for itself. And that's what a level transition looks like. I'm in the next map now. Because this elevator is the only one in the game that actually has a touch collision. You just hit the trigger and it goes to the next level for no reason. It's the only elevator in the game that does that. If every elevator in the game did it, the world record would be like 3 minutes. Not joking. But something also to note, right there, when I did the save glitch, I lowered my FPS max to 60 because if you have high speed and you're going through a level transition, the FPS the game is at does actually determine how far you can move. Like if my FPS max was not 60 and I was running at like 200, 300 FPS, I would not clip through this wall enough. And if my FPS max was like 10, it can't be. But if it was 10, then I would go way too far out of bounds and it wouldn't work. So the FPS max has to be 60 here. Just a minor detail. And then I can shoot a portal there. Shoot a portal there. That is going to land on the box out of bounds, so I can shoot another portal under the elevator. Another Pika portal. That portal under the elevator. You'll see right below it is the elevator for chamber 12, for chamber 11. That is the elevator for chamber 12. Shoot a portal under there and do another PQR to get in bounds and under the elevator. Now the map's on a timer. And that save load was just to get my FPS max back to unlimited. So right here, what I'm going to have to do is wait for the orange portal to shoot a portal in the right spot so I can jump through and grab the gun. Because right here, the map, the elevator that ends in chamber 13 is going up, but I don't have the dual portal gun. This is a bit of a sequence break, as it is sometimes known. So what I have to do is go through, grab the orange portal gun, and then get back before the elevator ends. Because if the elevator ends and I'm not in the area where it ends, it will not transition. It'll just exit to main menu, which is not cool. Go through, grab the gun, quickly go back. And then right there, the level transitions. Alright, and here what I do is because the blue portal was on the ground and I was close enough to the blue portal, when the level transitions, the orange portal disappears. So the box surrounding the portals also disappears. So that counts as I was in the box and now I am not in the box, but the game doesn't know that. So that's another way of getting save glitch. So right here I just shot the orange portal to activate save glitch again, and I can walk through this wall because the blue portal is far enough away. And then that is the ending elevator. So you just shoot under the ending elevator and then go back here to do a PQR, and then the level's on the timer now. Now, if this was a run like more than a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, I would have just done that exact same route like 5, 6 more times, and it would have been pretty boring. But there's a new route found that is still kind of repetitive, but it saves like a good 4, maybe 5 seconds even. So that is what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be doing the new route. And then I do another quantum crouch so that if I'm close to a ceiling, I can see out of bounds. And then I go through this portal so that the crouch body goes to the top, and then my head goes even higher than the top, and it ends up out of bounds. And then hit that very quick shot out of bounds to the box that's on the right side. And then shoot another portal there. Shoot a portal to the top of the elevator. And then what I'm going to do here is a falling save glitch, I think it's called. When you're out of bounds, normally, just anywhere out of bounds, and you're crouched, and you save load, you'll move down. I think it's like 4.5 units. It's more than that. I don't know how many units it is. But you move down a fair bit if you save load while crouched out of bounds. Anywhere. So, because I'm out of bounds and crouched, if I save load, I'll move down a fair bit. But because the movement happens during a load, the game doesn't realize that I moved out of the portal box, and now I have save glitch. Pretty common theme. And because I have save glitch, I can fall through out of bounds, land in the fizzler to cancel it, shoot those 2 portals to reactivate save glitch, and because they're both in the elevator shaft, I'll keep save glitch into the next map, and then I will just wait till the elevator to go up.
We can no longer lie to.
This is the new map. Because I have save glitch still, I can walk through that wall, shoot a portal there, it cancels it, and it gives me a firm place to stand. I can shoot there, there, do another PQR, and I end up under the elevator. And then that, what I just explained over like the past 2 minutes or so, is going to be repeated. It's going to be repeated a fair bit, like 4 times throughout the run. So what I do here is I end up here so that I can do portal shots, clever portal shots, to end up above the elevator, so I can do the falling save glitch to below the elevator, and then bring save glitch to the next map. So I end up above the elevator, do the falling save glitch, cancel it, shoot the portal so I get save glitch back again, and then wait for the elevator to go up. These shots that I shoot in out of bounds space are nothing special. They're just timing shots, because if you hold the portal button down, the portals will shoot as fast as possible, which is 2 times per second. And that just happens to line the timing up correctly, so that if I shoot on cap, as it's called, I will shoot at the right time for a PQR. Because PQR, sometimes timing a PQR can be hard, especially with a shot that far away. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing, just do clever portal movement to get to the top of the elevator shaft, following save glitch, cancel it, you've heard it before, shoot portals there. Same thing, under the elevator, PQR. Now the map's on a timer. Get to the top, following save glitch. Wait for the elevator to go up. Same exact thing, except this time we don't go back out of bounds. We just stay here. And this is the same thing. Because the blue portal is going to disappear on the level load, we'll still get save glitch, but we'll need to shoot the blue portal to activate it. That glitch is called load glitch, by the way. And then we shot the blue portal, and then that portal shot will bring us to the last map of the game, actually. Which is... no, not the last map. What am I saying? The last room of the chamber. And then it'll take a while to get there. And then I just did dialogue. I just did a trigger to start the dialogue. And this is the other map in the game where the elevator won't go up till the dialogue's finished. So I'm on cap. I'm on a timer to enter the elevator. So it doesn't matter how slow I go. This is a slightly different way of doing the same thing that I did in the past few chambers. This is just another way to get quantum crouch. You jump, crouch while in midair, and then when you land, very quickly uncrouch and crouch again, so that... And then you get quantum crouch when you go through a portal, for some reason. So I can shoot on that surface right there, because it's quantum crouch. And then again, this is just, again, moving to the top of the elevator, and then I'm going to do the falling save glitch. Cancel it. Something actually interesting about here is I won't shoot the portals immediately, because I still need to not have save glitch so I can collide with the elevator. But as soon as it starts moving up, I will shoot the other portal so I can lose collision, and then get back out. That portal loses my collision. That fizzler regains it. Shoot portals again. Classic. This is just like the old times. The other chambers. I shoot a portal on that out of bounds surface because it lines me up for this shot, which is to the end of the map pretty much. That shot is a bit precise. And then that orange portal that I just shot right there is actually going to the end of the map. So normally what should happen is I should go through this blue portal and then it'll take me to the end of the map. But in the speedrun I actually mess up and go through it too early. And because portal travel time, I messed up. And when I shot that portal and went through that portal, I loaded the next map. And this is also just portal movement to the end of the map. Pretty clever. And then in about 10 seconds, I've done about 80% of the escape. If the game didn't have elevators, this is pretty much what the entire game would look like. And it'd be like a 3-minute run. So right here, I shoot there, and then get back inbounds. Which is interesting because you need to bring a turret into the GLaDOS room with you if you want to beat it fast. So that portal, it may only look like there's one surface there, but there's actually the flat surface and the angled surface that is there when the door opens. They're both active for some reason. and then ABH back here with the turrets. And then this glitch is called Acute Angle Glitch. If you jump through the portal, shoot the... What portal is... I don't know what portal you shoot, but if you jump through the portal, shoot a portal, uncrouch, all at the right time, the game will, like, teleport you back through the portal because it thinks you're stuck, but it will do it twice. That might be how it works. Do not take my word on that. It just does weird teleporting things. And you end up in GLaDOS's room. But you haven't actually triggered GLaDOS yet. You haven't triggered her dialogue to start. Then you go back, grab the turret, go through, and now GLaDOS will start talking to you.
Well, you found me. Congratulations.
And then right here, I knock the turret over, so it'll start shooting randomly. And then it will... And then I'll bring it up to GLaDOS so it can shoot GLaDOS.
Was it worth it?
And the turret shoots GLaDOS, GLaDOS drops all their cores. That's been done for a while. And then I grab all the cores, just set them down.
Maybe you could settle for that, and we'll just call it a day. I guess we both know that.
This glitch is an edge glitch. It's like a save glitch light.
You
When I'm in that position, my portals will not shoot where I actually put them.
chose it.
So I shoot that portal and it shoots on the outside wall of the incinerator, which just lets me incinerate the portals like 2 or 3 seconds faster.
Now I have a surprise for you.
And then I shoot the other portal under all the cores, so all the cores can go through the portal and get incinerated by the incineration trigger.
Deploying surprise.
And then once all 4 cores have been incinerated, the game ends right there. When the cutscene, or when the crosshair disappears, that's when the game ends. And this has already been a fairly long video, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not going to actually bother explaining all this at the end, where I go to the cake room, but it's all just glitches that I've done before. So if you want to try, actually accept this one. This is a portal bump. You just shoot a portal on the side of a portal, and even if there's a wall in the way, the portal will go through. And this is all just movement. There's a PQR at the end, and I end up putting the cube on the cake because that glitches the end game cutscene to not put the cake out, because the thing that puts the cake out gets stopped on the cube. And that way the still alive never actually plays. The game will soft lock just on the screen. But because the run's already over, it doesn't matter. So I'll just skip to the end a little bit to show what that looks like. So tries to put it out. Fails. The game will soft lock there forever. Yeah, that's been an explanation video that probably took longer than it should have. But I did this live, so who knows? Maybe this also not a tutorial, by the way. I might eventually making a tutorial, but the game, every part of it is honestly so complex. So, and that was that. If you watched the whole thing somehow, thank you, and hopefully you now have a better understanding of how this game was beaten in under 7 minutes.